Welcome to our channel, everyone. My name is Aman. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and on this channel, we speak specifically about immigration to Canada. My team and I, we do a lot of business immigration cases for Canada. That includes startup applications, entrepreneur applications, where you invest in Canadian business and then you get permanent residency. And then we also deal with intra-company transfer and all sorts of other business applications. When we deal with these type of business applications, we see majority of the clients, they suffer with one major problem, which is preparing a business plan. And indeed, that is the most important document in this application. And it's not really similar to any business plan that you would submit to an investor, because immigration has their own requirements and we have to fulfill those requirements in that business plan. So if you want to do a business application for Canada and you are struggling with the issue of making the right business plan, maybe you should watch this video till the very end, because the information which is presented in this video and the way it's compiled, you probably is not going to find it anywhere else on the internet. So stick around, we will make sure that you get the right information in this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's deep dive into the business immigration options we have. And I hope you guys are ready, because this is going to be great information for people who are thinking of coming to Canada under the business immigration programs. First, we want to speak about what is the importance of the business plan under the immigration programs, mainly the startup visa applications, investment applications, intra-company transfers, C11 significant benefit. First of all of these applications are paper-based application. What it means is that we cannot really call Immigration and Refugee Citizenship Canada and explain our case to them. Okay, whatever we have to explain, whatever eligibility we have to prove it based on our business plan. So that is why making a correct, concise business plan which actually establish your eligibility for the program is very, very important, because this is the only chance you're going to get when you submit the application. And then it should be correct and it should entertain all the requirements of the program for you. Then a detailed document always answers all questions. So as an immigration officer, when you're looking at a business plan and an immigration application, it's their requirement to make sure that the applicant fulfill all the criteria of the program, applicant fulfill all the eligibility requirements, and everything which needs to be established is established. A detailed document, when you provide, should be able to answer all of those questions which may come today or may come at the time of the assessment of the application. And your business plan should be something which is easily able to show the viability and potential of success of your business in Canada. At the end of the day, all business programs are related to bringing more people to Canada and have successful businesses in Canada, so that your businesses could provide potential benefit to Canada, as in terms of employment, as in terms of bringing capital to Canada. So if your business plan is paper-based, basically submitted in a PDF format, and is able to answer all questions the immigration officer is going to have, and is able to show a viability and potential of success of your business, you are going to have a very good chance at getting an approval for your business immigration application. What does the business plan has to prove when it is in front of an immigration officer? First of all, ownership of the business. So every different program where you're applying for startup, investment, or any other program, all of them have their own ownership requirements. And then you or the immigration consultant who is doing your application need to understand the requirement of the program, and your business plan should be easily able to demonstrate that the applicant or the applicants have the right amount of ownership to qualify for the program. Then the applicant's experience to operate business in Canada. Again, a immigration application is going to be approved once the immigration officer is convinced that the person coming has the previous experience of running or operating a business, or in a case of an intra-company transfer, the person has some specific skill set that is going to help him do the job or operate the business in Canada. So this has to be proven through your documentation and mainly your business plan as well. Then the applicant's financial capability. So every business which is going to be operated or run in Canada obviously is going to need capital, and the eligibility of that capital need to be established in the application itself. And somewhere in the business plan, you have to demonstrate that the person or the people coming together on the application have the financial capability of operating their business in Canada, and in certain situations they would have to show investment for the business as well. Okay, so the financial capability to operate the business in Canada has to be established. Then the financial health of the business. So basically, any business coming to Canada, if it's a startup business or it's a pre-established business, we have to prove in their business plan that if the business has already been running, it is healthy financially, so that if the business is going to pay the intra-company transferee who's going to come to Canada, or the business is promising to hire new people in Canada, the business has the capability of paying those people as well. So that is the meaning of good financial health of the business. And then we have to establish that the business is feasible in the market it's aiming for. I put this point specifically for provincial investment programs, wherein you would say that I want to come to, say, Alberta and open up a business there, and I'm going to invest X amount of money, and I'm going to do this in the next 4 or 5 years. You have to establish that you actually have documented data, you have done your research, that the business can be feasible in the market you're aiming for. So for example, if you want to open up a business of construction, right, and you have no experience of construction in Canada, and you probably plan a opening a business in a place where there is not a lot of requirement of construction, there is no drastic population growth happening in the last 5 years, and there is no projected growth of population happening in the next few years as well, and there are already 2 or 3 businesses who are doing construction in that area, and they are barely sustaining themselves, and they are not really making a huge amount of profits and huge amount of potential profits in the coming years. So in that situation, if you make an application like that, the probability of that application getting refused is very high, because the immigration officer is not going to be convinced that your potential business which you have proposed is not feasible in the location you have proposed it for. So location analysis is a very huge deal while dealing with provincial applications. Then the execution of the business plan. Execution basically mean that you provided them the market plan, your business plan, your financial data, and your projection for the next 4 to 5 years, and there is no clear pathway on how all of them are going to be executed, and the type of people who are going to be required to execute it. There is no clear information in your business plan that how all of those people are going to come together to make the business plan a reality in the field. So if your execution plan is not strong in your business plan, then you will have a high chance of getting a refusal. So make sure that whatever you propose has to be very clear, has to be demonstrated that it can be achieved in the place you are going to achieve it, and you have the resources financially, skill wise, and manpower wise, that you can actually do that business plan. Then the last is you have to establish significant benefit, because when you're doing a business application, the underlying major requirement is that your business in Canada should provide significant economic benefit to Canada, and that benefit could be in the forms of economic benefit, cultural benefit, social benefit as well. And if you can combine all of them, that again is going to look great on your application. An example of that is that, for example, think about a community where there is a huge amount of African population, but there is no store specifically catered to that community in that place. And you come along and say that I have money, I have experience running a store which can cater to all of these people, and I will open it in this place. So all of these communities, say 200,000 strong, they do not have to travel, say, half an hour, 1 hour. All of their necessities are going to be fulfilled in about a 15 minutes drive from wherever they are living. So that becomes a significant social benefit for that community inside Canada, and that could be categorized under the significant benefit requirement, other than the economic benefit you're going to bring to that community. So what are the key components of that business plan when you're starting to make it? The first one, you always have to include an executive summary. So think about it in a way that you have a 20-page business plan, but and I only have like say 30 seconds to understand your business. The executive summary is going to summarize your business plan in the first 2 pages. So, wherein I will be able to understand the business plan from the first 2 pages as well. I do not have to go in depth to understand your whole business plan, but I'll get an idea that yes, this is a good plan. They have a potential to succeed. They have done their research, and there is a great possibility that they are going to execute that business plan inside Canada. So there is a tricky part to execution plan, that you want to make it small enough that it will give you all the information you need in a bullet point format, but it should also be interesting enough that after reading that executive summary, I should be thinking of reading the whole business plan, that okay, I'm now interested, I saw the potential in the business, I want to know what exactly they're going to do, how they have done the research, what is their financials, what is their product services, where are they going to open it, how are they going to execute it, and what kind of benefits it's going to bring to Canada. If your executive summary is good enough to serve these two purposes, that it should explain everything very simply, and it should encourage the reader to read the whole business plan, then you have a successful executive summary. Then the market analysis. It's interesting to know that obviously Canada is a huge country, different from many other countries in the world. And if your business, which you're running in other part of the world, may or may not be successful in Canada, it all depends upon the market inside wherever you're going to open that business. So your market analysis has to be done properly, and there are a lot of resources online, which are, some of them are government sponsored, some of them are private, where you can actually get the right market data for Canada. And your business plan needs to establish that you have done the market analysis, and according to your analysis, it is a good business plan which can definitely be successful in Canada and can provide significant benefit. Then you have to clearly establish that what is the product and the services you're going to offer. So the products and services offering also need to establish what is your capability of providing that product and service inside Canada. If it's a product, again, if you have a minimum viable product, or if your product has been successful elsewhere and you have a huge amount of data to back it up that you have sold a lot of it, and there is a similar demand of that product in Canada, it becomes much easier to convince the immigration officer that it's a good product and there is a demand for that product in Canada. Similar to service offerings, if you are providing any services, and if you say that your services require a certain type of demographic that is going to consume your services, and you can prove in your business plan that the similar type of demographic actually exist in the place where you're going to open up that business, that's going to look great on your application. So product and services offering and a relative market and analysis is going to go a long way in making a great business plan. Next, marketing and sales strategy. So now you have proved that you have a great business with your executive summary, you have done your market analysis, you have provided a product or a service detail in your business plan. Next is to do a marketing and sales strategy, that how you are going to enter the market and what type of shares of the market you are thinking of obtaining, and what is your strategy to obtain that, how are you going to reach out to the customers, how are you going to get customers to you to purchase your products or services, and what is your sales strategy going to be, where are you going to position yourself, what kind of branding you're going to do, how you're going to entice the customers to specifically buy your product if you have other competition in the market. All of that has to be very clear, and if it all make collective sense in your business plan, that all of this is achievable with your skill set, with your financials, with your business plan, with your plan of hiring manpower in Canada, everything, if it comes together, then you have a successful plan. Then we speak about the financial projections. So Canada again wants businesses to come to Canada and provide significant benefit, and one significant benefit of the businesses coming in Canada is economic benefit, wherein people from other countries bring their businesses to Canada and circulate money in the economy, and the money is circulated in forms of taxes. So if you are doing a financial projection, you would have to show for I would usually say minimum 3 to 5 years of projections of your financials, that how much money the business is going to earn, how much the money business is going to spend, how much of those are going to be in taxes, how much of that is going to be in salaries, and how much of that is going to be actually in going to the Service Canada, or sorry, the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, in terms of business or individual taxes. If you can give a projection of that which is realistic and is not out of the park, which makes sense for a new business in Canada, that is how a good financial projection comes about. And we have written so many of them. We know exactly what a business coming to Canada should look like in financial projections, and in your business plan that has to be very, very clearly established. So let's speak about workflow projections. Workflow projections are very, very important when making a good business plan. So what you have to establish here, that the type of business you're going to do, you are going to hire the right type of people to run that business in Canada, and it has to be clearly established in your business plan. So, for example, take say that you're coming to Canada and you're going to start a pharmacy in a community where there are not a lot of them. But in your workflow projections, you would say that in the second year, I'm going to hire 5 customer service associates. But in your business plan, you do not put any information about pharmacists or pharmacy assistants. So that is going to look a little odd, that okay, if your pharmacy is growing and you're hiring customer service associates, but you're not hiring pharmacists or pharmacy assistants, that does not really look right to you. It looks like that you do not have think through your business plan. You do not have think through the type of people you're going to need for your business. So that is very important to understand what type of workforce, what type of occupations you want to put in the workforce to make it a viable business plan for yourself. And I will also suggest that while doing that, explain the job duties of those people as well, and explain how they are going to correlate with your business and how they're going to benefit your business in growing. Okay, so if you are able to do all of that collectively, that's going to make a great business plan. So now I'm going to speak about the different requirements of business plan while it relates to the different type of business applications to Canada. First, let's speak about startup visa applications. When you're doing a startup visa application, the immigration officers are not really concerned so much about your net worth, other than the settlement funds you need for this business program. But what they want to see in the business plan is that your business is an innovative business, which is the first major requirement of a startup business. Then they want to see that what kind of investment potential you have. It basically means that if you do not have the money to run your business on your own, you can compensate that by showing that you have investors who have signed up with you, who are ready to invest in your business, or who have already invested in your business. And the number of people coming to this business can be up to 5 people on the same business, and all 5 of them have to satisfy the immigration officer's requirement of settlement funds, language scores, and all of that. And that has to be related to your business plan, that okay, well, if this person is coming to Canada to run a startup company, and he's saying that he's a marketing manager, what credentials he has to satisfy that business role as a marketing manager. And then lastly, you have to show that you have a support letter from a designated organization who's going to support you. It could be a business incubator, it could be an angel investor, and their support letter needs to be a part of your business plan, showing that yes, we have acquired a support letter from a designated entity and we have fulfilled all other requirements of the program. Now, the Provincial investment program. So they are very, very different than from a startup visa applications. Only one person can apply per application. And in this business plan, the most important things are going to be the local market analysis, because a province is going to nominate your business for permanent residency, or specifically you for permanent residency, if they are convinced that your business is going to provide significant benefit in their community or their regional area or their major area where you are applying for that business. So your local market analysis needs to be done properly, showing that your business can actually establish itself and grow in that specific market or community or area. Then a competition analysis is very important, because a business in a provincial program, there is one thing which the business officers want to see, is that if you are bringing in a business to a specific community or area, you are actually providing significant benefit, and you are not providing a lot of competition, I would say, in that specific community. For example, if they already have 2 or 3 businesses running in the same sector that you are running a business, and bringing you to that business maybe is not going to provide a lot of other jobs, but it's going to make it difficult for the other businesses to operate themselves, then in that case it's going to go against you. So you have to do a market analysis, a competition analysis. You have to clearly understand what other type of businesses you are going to compete in that area, and is your significant benefit enough to overcome the competition in that area or not. Then the local significant benefit, again, significant benefit, I've been speaking about it from the beginning of the video. And but in provincial investment program, your significant benefit has to be established locally. So meaning that if you are coming to Canada and through a provincial program, and you say that I'm going to start up a business in a city or a town in British Columbia, you have to demonstrate that how you're going to provide significant benefits in terms of employment, in terms of investment, and in terms of taxes to that local area. Okay, if you are able to satisfy the immigration officer that we are going to say hire 4, 5, or 6 or X number of people in that local community, the jobs which did not exist before, and they're only going to exist because your business is in that local community, that is how you satisfy the immigration officer of the local significant benefit. And then the last is the applicant's investment. So provincial programs are depending upon the amount of net worth you have, the amount of investment you're going to do in that specific business place. Their requirements are different. Some of them would do an application at say $150,000 minimum, and some of them could go up to as for high as $400,000 invested in that community. So if you can demonstrate the investment and the net worth requirements of the program, then you're golden. You will be able to get a nomination from the province. And lastly, the intra-company transferee programs. It's exactly different than any other program. In this one, the major focus is going to be on the relationship of the business which is established in Canada and its sister company in whichever company or country you're coming from. So you have to show and demonstrate that what is the relationship between these two businesses, and there's very specific requirement that you have to meet. If you're able to demonstrate that, and then you are able to demonstrate your skill level, because in intra-company transferee, the only people who can apply under this program are director level executives, or senior manager level executives, or people with a very specific skill set. If you fall in any 3 of this category, and your business plan can demonstrate that the businesses who is inviting you into Canada has a specific type of a relationship with the business you are running or working from in whatever country you're coming from, those 2 requirements are the most important requirements to be established through a business plan in intra-company transferee. All right, so now let's speak about how to create a strong business plan. First of all, I would suggest that you should keep it concise. So you do not have to fill pages of information. All you have to do is use enough information in your business plan that establish the requirements of the program, that establish the viability of your business plan, and that convinces the immigration officer that your business plan is real, it's doable, you have the skills, you have done your research, you're going to provide significant benefit. As long as you're able to do it in as many words as you want, you do not have to go overboard with it. Keep it concise, make it simple for an immigration officer to read. If it makes sense to you while reading it, it's going to make sense to an immigration officer as well. Then use local data and research. If you're coming to Canada and you're coming to a specific community and a specific say city, you have to understand the requirements of the business in that area. You have to understand your consumers in that area, the market, the competition, and what regulations are there. So as long as you're able to do your local research properly, you are going to able to address all the questions the immigration officer are going to have about operating the business in that community or that city. And there are so many information portals available. Some are sponsored by government, some are not. You can use that online through our Canadian organizations, and then you'll be able to get the right information to put in your business plan. Next, you have to be realistic in your progressions. What it means is that if you are running a grocery store in Canada and you say next year I'm going to hire 150 people just because you want to show significant benefit, and you say that it's going to impress the immigration officer that you're going to provide these many jobs, but it's not realistic. It's not going to fly. An immigration officer is going to say that your business plan is not viable and refuse your application. So that is why it's important to understand what a realistic progression financially, what a realistic progression looks like in terms of hiring the right number of people, providing the right number of information on workflow. As long as it makes sense, it's realistic, it's doable financially, and it's doable physically, then it's going to make sense to an immigration officer, and you're not going to get a rejection based on that problem. Then you have to show the viability of your business specific to your market. Again, if your business is successful in one part of the world, in one city, does not mean it's going to be successful in Canada, because the climate here, the geography here, the people here is very, very different. And then you have to account for all of that and demonstrate that you have the capability of making the business a success in that specific part. And that is how your business plan is going to demonstrate all of that information, that you have done your market research, you have done your competitive analysis, you have done your local analysis, you know exactly your customers, you know exactly what type of business you're going to do, what type of projections you have, what type of product or services you're going to provide, and it's all going to make sense. It's all possible to be done. As long as you're able to show that viability in the business plan, that's going to be amazing for you to get an approval. Then you have to tackle the competition. So never ignore that there could be other companies who are doing similar things in that specific community or the city or market you're coming to, but address that in your business plan. If you do not do that, it becomes an easy target for an immigration officer to refuse your application, saying that, oh, we do not believe that this is a genuine business plan, as they have not addressed the competition, and it's not going to be viable business in that specific community, so we're going to refuse the application. But as long as you provide enough information that we understand the competition, we have a strategy on how to enter the market, how to capture the market share, and how to compete with our competitors, that's going to be enough for the immigration officer to say that, yes, these people seems like they have done their research, they know exactly how they're going to tackle the competition. Hence, I'm satisfied with the business plan, and if they fulfill all eligibility requirements, I'm going to approve their application. And then lastly, which is, I believe, one of the most important things, is that show your compliance to the immigration requirements. So every business plan is going to be applied under the specific program, and that specific program is going to have very specific requirements for the applicant and the business. So it's your responsibility, or your immigration consultant's responsibility to demonstrate that you and the business fulfill the requirements of the immigration program and the appropriate immigration laws and regulations. As long as you're able to demonstrate all of that, your eligibility, business's eligibility, your financial progressions, and all good things, it's going to be easy for you to get an approval. Well, if you have watched this video till now, it's pretty obvious that you are interested in doing business immigration to Canada. And first of all, if you like the contents of the video, I'll ask you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends so more and more people can watch this video and get the right information. And if you want to do your own business application to Canada, rather than doing everything yourself, it's better to get the help of somebody who has done before. Our team's expertise can definitely be in your favor. And if you want us to assess your application, our information to set up a consultation is in the description section down below. You can reach out to us, and then we will figure out what is the best way for you to get permanent residency in Canada. And then we can guide you through the whole process. It could be startup visa application, it could be a provincial investment application, it could be intra-company transfer, it could be a significant benefit C11 work permit, could be any of those. We will be more than happy to help you out. Reach out, and thank you very much for watching the video. Stay safe, please.